Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast Wrestling Edition. Today, we have a wild episode for you guys today. We're going to be reviewing Money in the Bank that just took place this past Sunday. And we have Mr. Consistent Jacob Mason with us. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm pissed off, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. And we got the captain, too, Byron Mitchell. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm entertained by all the wrestling events / news that has happened since the last time we recorded.
Right. And let's not waste any time, guys. Let's talk about Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank just took place July 18th on Sunday. We're gonna, the usual. We're gonna be reviewing the matches and talking about what happened. We're gonna go straight into it with the only match on the pre-show: the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. They beat the Mysterios by pinfall. And the Usos became the tag team champions, and the Bloodline has all the gold. This match was actually 11 minutes and 25 seconds. I actually got the timestamps for these matches. Byron, what did you think of this match?
I didn't see it because I was late getting to your house, and I didn't watch the replay. I saw that there was a roll-up pin, and the roll-up pin looked awful.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get to see the match. Usos are tag team champions after one of them just recently got a DUI, but we're here. I actually said this on the last podcast that they were about to become tag team champions soon, and here we are, boys.
Yeah, I did see the match, and yeah, we all had this figured that this was going to happen. They're going to give them all the gold. Jacob, what'd you think of this match, man?
I was pissed off. I didn't like it. Didn't like it from the beginning to the end, from the entrances to the end. Because it started off with the Mysterios doing some Rick and Morty portal shit through, I don't know, Aztec Temple stuff. I don't know. It felt very Lucha Underground to me, but not even as good as Lucha Underground. So not a fan. How the hell did the Usos get the titles after getting popped for another DUI? And we talked about this on the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
How? No one else can get away with this shit. The Usos are.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I agree. And it's just, I think they're going to use that in the storyline for get more heat on Roman. Because if the last SmackDown, when he was pointing at the brothers and he was like, you, let's not even talk about you, Mr. DUI, man. So it's wild because only in WWE can you get arrested and then still be on TV and basically, I guess, getting a promotion in the same week. So that's wild stuff. But I mean, when you're with the tribal chief and your family's connected to 2034 President Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, anything is possible, as Kevin Garnett said. But we all saw this coming. There's really nothing more to talk about it. It's kind of salty that the Mysterios lost in this way, but I feel like they're going to get a rematch at SummerSlam.
Most definitely.
All right, so we go from that match to the first match on the main card. You had the Women's Money in the Bank Championship match. It was Nikki ASH, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Natalya, Selena Vega, and the to be determined was freaking Tamina. I was very salty because I picked Alexa Bliss or to be determined to win because we talked on the preview. If the women were last, we knew it was going to be someone huge. And they were first. I thought, oh, maybe they're going to get a big pop because it's going to be someone crazy winning. But no, WWE is like, we're just going to throw Tamina in. So we're going to have the women tag team champs, Tamina and Natalya, not defend their belts, just in the briefcase, whatever. But Nikki Cross, aka Nikki Almost a Superhero, ended up winning this. Jacob, how shocked were you that Nikki won this?
I was shocked. I was shocked she won it. Yeah. Not shocked that Tamina got in because I called that. My smart ass, dumb ass called that last. That was great. That was like the highlight of it for me.
Another part of the bloodline.
Nikki going over. That was a shocker, but it was an okay shocker.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. What's your guys' thoughts?
Byron, you can go ahead.
I definitely was shocked because she wasn't on my radar to win. I definitely thought it would have been Liv or Alexa Bliss. I really think it should have been Liv, but I'm not mad that it was Nikki because she's, had those promos before, like Royal Rumble, and the promos as a superhero. So, she's a role model for young women. So I'm okay with her winning.
I mean, I was shocked because, like Byron said, she was not on my radar. And I think I was so invested in Liv Morgan because they were making her prove herself each week. And I was like, this is going to be the moment for her. And still not this. Nikki just crawled on the backs of other women's superstars, literally grabbed the briefcase. And I was like, holy shit, Nikki Cross is Miss Money in the Bank. And we'll go into that after we talk about the post show. It's what's happened this week. But I mean, I was shocked. I wanted Liv to win. I'm not going to lie about that. I wanted Becky to show up because, unlike some other stuff we'll talk about later, Becky Lynch literally posted on all social media that she's in Texas at the stadium, at the arena. But then I've come to realize, like, you know what? Her husband and her father of her child's working today. So it is what it is with that.
I mean, she does like to tease the fans.
Yeah, but that one, she was right there.
She did say it would be a shame if someone got hurt. And I was like, ooh, is Becky coming? Never showed up.
Never showed up.
What did you guys think of the actual match itself?
I thought it was good. I was very entertained. It was strange that they buried Alexa Bliss. When they did that, I thought she was about to win. Like, use her superpowers to, like, turn off the lights and then appear on top of the ladder. But I thought it was a good match.
I don't. Alexa Bliss just has all these powers now. Not gonna lie, when she was buried underneath, and there was a times when she was controlling Selena Vega, and I thought she was gonna win. I thought this was gonna be the Fiend's return to mess it up for her. I really did. I was waiting for it. It didn't happen, and I was just like, the match was what it was. But also, like, thinking about like Selena Vega, like, you come back and you're just back to being a loser. Like, you haven't won since you've been back.
Well,
Jacob, what'd you think?
Oh, man, there was too much like dumb shit. Like, I felt like my intelligence was just completely insulted. Once again, WWE status doing that. Throughout the match. One of the things that really just me and my wife started laughing in the middle of the match was when Asuka had Tamina. Tamina was on her back, but Asuka had the ladder like on top of her, just one side. Mm-hmm. They start slamming it down on top of her, but the thing was, it wasn't even hitting Tamina. Like the foot of the ladder is doing what they're supposed to do by making contact with the floor or the mat in this case. Therefore, it couldn't possibly even hurt her. She wasn't like she was trying to sell it, but it was so bad. Like watching it, like none of the camera angles could even make it look legit. It looked really bad. And then on top of that, like you have Nikki go over, which is fine, dandy, whatever. Didn't see it coming. That was one of the two swerves, I guess, of the night in my book. But how do you have 6 women fighting on top of ladders, punching each other, magically not notice? And I understand Nikki's a small woman. I'm guessing $125, $130. How do you not notice a 130-pound potato sack of a bright gold and blue superhero uniform? How do you not notice that climbing on top of you? Literally at the one point, I see it was a picture of like Natty punching, I forget who was it, Zelina Vega across her or something like that.
Yeah.
And you just can't even, like, she's just clearly like, I don't notice Nikki Ash behind me at all. I'm just going to keep swinging. What is this 130-pound weight on my back? I have no idea. Let's just keep punching. Like, what kind of dumb shit is this? You could have ended that better.
Yeah, I agree. That ending was very strange. Even we were talking about it at Martin's house, how no one noticed that she was climbing on your back. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was wild. And that match was 15 minutes and 45 seconds too. So they actually did get a little bit of time on there. But going on to the next one with AJ and Omos, the champs, they went against the Viking Raiders and they did defeat them. This was for the Raw Tag Team Championships. We all got that one because we all are assuming that the match is going to be AJ and Omos versus Riddle and Orton at SummerSlam. But WWE things could change. I think the match was for what it was. I mean, I don't think there was anything particularly special about it. I know my wife loves seeing Omos. She has grown attached to him and loves seeing him mess stuff up and beat people down. So that's where it's at. Jacob, what do you think of the match?
Actually, I really like this match. I just thought it was a very, very good, solid tag team match. I was a fan. I enjoyed it. It's probably my favorite match of the night, to be completely honest.
Brian, what do you think?
I thought it was a very good match. I mean, there was a point where I thought the Viking Raiders were about to win, but then almost threw that guy into I think it was Rowan into Eric. And then they went on to win. I thought it was like Jacob said, I thought it was a very good match. I was very entertained throughout it all. Like I said, I thought the Viking Raiders were going to win at one point, but almost an AJ won. So hopefully they'll go on and face RK Bro. Get that right as well.
Hopefully, we'll see. That next match, and that match was 12 minutes, 55 seconds. Next match was a bona fide ass whooping. Only didn't even last 8 minutes. It was Bobby Lashley, the champ, against Kofi Kingston, and Kofi got annihilated bad. I think we should have seen this coming because the Raw before, I mean, if you didn't catch it, Bobby did get off a fire promo when he said the bullshit needs to stop. And we're just like, oh, all right, this is some serious stuff. But Byron, I know we're big Kofi fans, but what did you think about the ass whooping that Kofi took in this title match?
Man, why they keep doing my boy Kofi like that, bro?
Yeah.
Kofi will. One thing I would say about Kofi, he will do the job for people. So that's a great thing about him. That he absolutely got annihilated. I would say he maybe got 2 to 3 minutes of offense, and Bobby just took over the rest of the match. I mean, which is good because you want to have your champion like Bobby look dominant, and he did. So I think it served its purpose of making Bobby look like a dominant champion. And the bullshit did stop that night.
Jacob, what'd you think of the ass whooping Kofi took?
This was the ass whipping that needed to happen. Unfortunately, it was Kofi. Everybody likes Kofi. But yeah, no, you needed to establish Bobby Lashley once again as this bad dude you don't want to mess with because he will absolutely wreck your shit. And I love the way they did it where he could have pinned him multiple times. He's like, nah, I'm going to keep whipping his ass. I'm making a point. I'm making a statement. This is what you have to deal with if you want to come get this championship. This is who you have to deal with. Get ready, which we'll talk about, the following Monday Night Raw. You needed to build that like that for the upcoming stuff.
Agreed on that. And that match was 7 minutes, 35 seconds. The next match for another title on the Raw side, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. This match was almost 17 minutes, 16 minutes, 50 seconds. And this match started super hostile. They were chanting for Byron's girl, we want Becky, we want Becky. And Charlotte Flair gave them all the bird. And they had to cut it off for a bit. And even when they came back, you could still see her middle finger giving everyone the bird, which that was crazy in itself. And to our devastation, but we all saw this coming sooner or later. Charlotte Flair did defeat Rhea Ripley by submission. And she busted Rhea's leg up, putting it in between the steel steps and then putting her in that figure eight. And this was, which we can talk about a little bit now. This is Charlotte's 11th title on the main roster, 14th overall. And just to give a flash forward to Mondays, now they were calling herself the 11th time champion. So I'm not going to lie, I was happy that they corrected that because I know I have bitched on this podcast for a month about why is she getting all these extra titles. But Jacob, what did you think about this, man? Because you've been on you were the first to say they were going to keep doing this for almost the entire year. And here we are halfway through and they did it again. So what'd you think, man?
Honestly, I really didn't care about this match going into it. I don't care about this storyline. I'm sick of the round robin. I'm like, as much as I love being right, and I definitely love that, I just don't care about this storyline. I literally sat on my phone. I was on Instagram and I was flipping through reels while this match was happening. I just didn't care. I'm watching knockoff TikToks over here, and I just didn't care about the match. I looked up and I seen Charlotte won. I thought she was going to win by DQ or some, shit like that. But, I see she won. I went, cool. She'll lose it soon. That was my first thought. I mean, like, of course, Charlotte wins. Lowell Charlotte wins. Or Lowell Charlotte somehow stays in the main event. But it is what it is. It's Charlotte Flair. Get used to it. Head of the table. Acknowledge her.
Yeah. Nice. Byron, what did you think of this match? Because you are not a Charlotte fan by any means, but I was with you watching this match. And what'd you think, man? Before I say what I thought about this match.
Yes, I'm not the biggest Charlotte fan. On the podcast, I said Rhea would win clean. So I was half right because Charlotte won clean. We all knew that she was going to win as soon as she was the second person out.
Yes, I forgot. Yes.
And we
Jacob,
all
did you know that?
Honestly, I did not. But you know what? Why?
Charlotte came out second.
Second one?
Yep.
Why is Charlotte coming out second? That you're the champion. You don't come out. You don't come out first.
That's what we knew.
You make other people wait. That's one of the perks.
But
shit's dumb.
That's when we knew. We were like, oh, it's a wrap for her. We knew, and you could see Rhea's facial expressions at the beginning. We're like, damn, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I was watching Harley Davidson.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But I was hoping that we were wrong and that Rhea would, come out on top. This is probably my favorite match of the night, even though I cannot stand Charlotte Flair. I don't think she needs to win the championship to stay relevant, but I'm not Vince, apparently. But I thought it was a very good match. I mean, the heat at the beginning, or the crowd chanting, "We want Becky," just made my heart just go, "Come on, Becky, show up." But I think it was a very good match. Very good match. Charlotte just has a switch that she can just turn on and just put on great matches, and you can see at the just a moment in the match where she just took over, and the match became great. Like the crowd started chanting, "This is awesome." So I think it was a very good match. I hate that Charlotte won.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do. I mean, because we all know where I stand with Charlotte too, but we knew it was coming, and I think what made this match a good wrestling match, it was my favorite match of the night, due to the fact that the crowd started so much hate towards those two. They didn't want anything to do with them. And then it went from that hate to "this is awesome." Like seeing this emotional spectrum of a wrestling fan, that was good to see. I honestly thought Becky was going to come out and confront Charlotte at the end, but that did not happen. And we all knew, out of those three new champions, between Bianca, Rhea, and Raquel, we joked on a podcast which one of them is going to get taken out by a 4-horsewoman first. And we all knew it was Rhea. As soon as Jacob said the thing that they were going to have this round robin, Asuka's been out of this round robin now, so it's just been Rhea and Charlotte. We knew that she was going to get her thing taken. And for Rhea, I don't know, man, how she feels at home. I know she's getting paid and she's in the women's main event right now, but to lose your title again to Charlotte, when you're on top, first it was at WrestleMania, the NXT one, and then the Raw one at Money in the Bank. I don't know how she feels, man. I would be pissed, to be honest, because it's I can't get over this obstacle.
Yeah, Rhea should have won. Like I said, there's no reason for Charlotte to win, especially if you're trying to push new stars. She needs this win to propel her to stardom if you're trying to build up the future women's division.
And I think it also shows how big these 4-horsewomen people are, because Bianca Belair is those SmackDown Women's Champion. She wasn't even on the card. If she was going against that I Quit match against Bayley, that would have been on the card.
Yeah, they should have kept her on the card, even though she was facing Carmella.
Carmella ain't a 4 horsewoman, man.
I know, but if you're trying to push the future, have all the championship matches on the pay per view. I know that fans came back on Friday. I get that, but they were going to come back on Friday anyway with the match at Money in the Bank. So just keep it at Money in the Bank.
Let me ask this. Let me get your boy's opinion here. As pissed as Rhea Ripley might be, I wouldn't bitch if I was her. I wouldn't complain.
No.
You want to know why? Because if you complain about one of the 4 horsemen or horsewomen, considering Charlotte is a number 1 on top of that list, you gonna piss her off? She'll bury you.
Yeah.
You got to make friends with them. Oh, you want the title, Mrs. Flair? Oh, absolutely. Take it. Absolutely. Beat me. Whatever.
No, I agree. No, I completely agree. I mean, I can almost make the case that Charlotte is the top dog in WWE. No pun intended to the former big dog, aka Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. I can really sit and make a case that she is the top superstar in the company.
Absolutely. And she's chasing that. She is chasing it hard, trying to beat her dad's record, which she will outstandingly. No one will top her record when it's all said and done.
Oh, absolutely not. No way.
No.
But
so yeah,
there's some stuff I want to talk about Charlotte after we do this stuff. But guys, we had the men's Money in the Bank, but before we had it, Peacock went to hell. I don't know what happened. We all joked that, hey, it was after Charlotte won that Peacock said enough, but sweet Jiminy Jesus, it just went to shit. I know we were at first thinking, is it just us checking our Wi-Fi? Then you go on the most trusted news site in the world, Twitter, and you type in Peacock, and then you see everyone is bitching, Ringside News, Sportskeeda, everyone. And we're just like, holy shit. WWE Network would never on a big pay-per-view. And that was fucking embarrassing. It really... Byron, what did you think about the Peacock meltdown?
Peacock is trash. I've said this multiple times in our group chats. I just don't like the way the app is just super slow. Like it gets stuck, freezes sometimes. Overall, the app is trash. And Vince sold the WWE Network to Peacock for $1 billion. And it is performing like this. Like we thought it was going to be bad at WrestleMania, but at WrestleMania, it was smooth compared to this. Like it was down for maybe 5-10 minutes before it came back up.
It didn't come back until Drew McIntyre's entrance, where the WWE official Twitter said the issues with Peacock has been resolved. You may have to log out and log back in. And that was embarrassing. Jacob, what did you think about it?
Yeah, so like you guys said, I started sputtering out and whatnot, messing up, and I messaged you guys. I was like, hey, is your Peacock screwing up? I figured it just my Spectrum. I was like, okay, well, I paid the bill. I wasn't sure what the issue was. And when you guys said, oh yeah, we're having problems too, I said, what the hell? So got sick of dealing with that, and I definitely did not hop on my Pirate TV app that I definitely don't have. And went to definitely didn't go into that, definitely didn't go over and click down to the network they have on the Pirate Service app that I definitely don't have. This is all a joke, by the way. Haha. But flipped over to that. It was running like a champ. It was running great, which made me laugh so hard. How is the definite not Pirate TV service that I have working better than the $1 billion product that was bought by Peacock? How does that work? I don't know. But eventually it did come back. I did switch back to Peacock. I shouldn't have, but I did. But it was kind of funny because me and my wife are once again laughing about that. I'm like, man, like this normally is like sputters out during any pay-per-view or any event or anything. I was like, God, it's working like a champ. It's working better than the $1 billion product. How about this? I don't know. It made me laugh. God bless Peacock. It's a terrible trash service.
Yeah, it was god awful. It's just it's hard watching stuff on Peacock because with the network, if you wanted to watch like an old pay-per-view, because I was watching Money in the Bank 2011, and like you can't just skip to a match like you used to on the network. You have to literally press the buttons, and that's terrible. And that was a big embarrassment. I know we were all joking that Vince is saying, "Get me on the line with someone." Like he was fucking pissed. I know he was firing. He was probably going off. And Peacock, y'all gotta do better because there's no way Vince is gonna want that to happen next month. Shit, we knew he did. If that shit wasn't fixed before the main event, I think they would have tried to pull the deal with Peacock. I wanted to get a VPN and say I live in Europe so I could have the WWE Network again. I was thinking about it. I really was, because
I mean,
that was
it's not a bad idea.
That was god awful. But Peacock, in blatant terms, here at the L7C, you do not have fans right now.
No.
But going from that, we did have a match after the debacle. Drew McIntyre's entrance saved it because that's when Peacock was back. We had Big E, Drew, John Morrison, Kevin Owens, King Nakamura, Ricochet, Riddle, and Seth Rollins in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. This was 17 minutes and 40 seconds. And Big E won the briefcase. I was shocked. This was another good surprise. I mean, they made him a single star. We were waiting for this push, and here it is. And man, Byron, what'd you think of the match? And what'd you think of the result?
My boy Big E, let's go! I said this, that he needed a big win, and what a better way to do it than Money in the Bank, because of that god-awful WrestleMania match. Ugh. We always said, when you do the job, you get rewarded. And Big E did the job for Apollo Crews, who hasn't been seen in, like a month. They got rewarded. So, good job, Vince, for pulling that trigger. I hope you do right by him and not some woozy, oh, he's going to lose the briefcase on a cash in bullshit. If you push Big E, push Big E, push Big E. Overall, I thought the match was great. There were some amazing spots by Ricochet. Ricochet, I think, was probably the MVP of the match. Overall, I thought the match was good. There one ladder spot, I think. Who went into the ladder? Was it Kevin Owens?
Yeah, Kevin Owens took a hella bump.
Yeah. Look, nasty. It was terrific. Overall match, great. Riddle's doing RKOs now, which is cool, I guess. Whatever.
He's doing it for Brother Randy.
Brother Randy.
Jeez, sounds like a cult. Brother Randy.
It really does. At one point, I thought Seth was about to win.
Yeah.
But then Big E did a big ending off the ladder, which looked amazing. Popped up and won. So I'm happy. Let's go, Big E. Let's give him this push that he rightly deserves.
Jacob, what did you think of the match?
It was good. It was good. It was one of the. This is the second surprise, I'm good with Big E going over. I didn't think he would. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be Seth for sure. Dumb shit like that. But good job WWE for not screwing that one up. I liked the match. It's a good match. That spot that Kevin Owens took, hella bump. And Byron, you were right. That big ending off the top of the ladder on Seth, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And shout out to the cult that is RK Bro. I like that. I like the match. It was a good match.
Yeah. There was a point I thought Seth was going to win. And Drew, the only reason I picked Drew is because he didn't get to defend in front of fans. So I thought they were going to give him this win in front of fans. But the Maharaja has his new crew now. So now he's going to be feuding with his 3MB brother. Hopefully we can get Heath Slater back for that. That'd be cool. I'm already calling out WWE, Jinder versus Drew, SummerSlam, Heath Slater, the referee. Make it happen. There you go.
I'd watch that.
There you go. Bring the brothers together. But that was 1740. And this was the next match, main event. The champ, Roman Reigns, with Paul Heyman, going against Edge. Edge getting his one-on-one match. Finally, This was for the Universal Championship. This match was 33 minutes and 10 seconds. So we all knew the result. Roman was going to win. But Edge put up his fight. We'll see. Edge had chances where he was going to win, and Seth Rollins came out twice. And we said it last month, we're starting to see it come that it's going to be Seth versus Edge at SummerSlam, and that's what it looks like it's going to be. Because now Edge is like, now I got to deal with you. So he'll probably say, before I go back to trying to take the title from Roman, I need to take you out. So there we are. Byron, what do you think of this match?
Excellent match. It's probably my second favorite match of the night. I think Edge looked wonderful in this match. Roman also looked amazing in this match. I think they worked very well together. So the match was definitely a very highlight for me. Got some spears into the barricade, which I know some people get tired of that spot, but that spot always gets me hyped. I just love that spot of getting speared into the barricade. He did his little chair submission thing, which looks painful as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, Roman tapped, but the ref was out. So if the ref was there, I don't know. Maybe Edge would have won, but Roman won. The Usos tried to come out, but then the Mysterios stopped them. And Seth came out twice, which we all called on the previous podcast that Seth was going to somehow interfere this match. I actually liked the promo Seth did right before this match. It was fantastic promo work by Seth. He's like, whoever wins this match, I'm coming after them. And at the end of the match when Roman won, he's like, you would have won if it wasn't for me. So you thought that was about to pop off, but then it was just a great match. I enjoyed it.
Jacob, what did you think of the match?
Match was good. Match was fine. Truth of the matter is, though, shit's too predictable. I not once, not a single time in that match did I have a slight disbelief of, oh man, is he about to pull it off? Like, I at least need a little bit of something. Just a little bit of disbelief, a little bit of something. I didn't feel that once. I literally went into this like, well, Roman's winning. Topping it on Instagram. Like, I'm gonna watch this, but like, I'm not putting all my energy into this. Why? Why would I? It's just predictable. What happened? Roman won. Lol. Vince logic. Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew he was going to win. I think in the fact that they did it in a way that didn't make Edge look weak at all, because he had 3 sets, because Seth did it twice and then the Usos. So I think that accomplished what that needed to accomplish. Edge got his match. Edge showed, as a person who's been gone for 10 years or so, that he could still go in a 20-plus minute match against the top male person on the roster. I was going to say overall, but overall Charlotte. But yeah, and it was for what it was. Like Byron talked about the spots and all of that. And then you see Roman in the ring, and then let's go right into it. You see him say, acknowledge me, and Byron, what happened?
Da, 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 da. The music hit. We were hyped. I looked at your face. Was priceless. I asked you the day before. I was like, what happens if John Cena shows up at Money in the Bank? He's like, no, he's not going to show up until Tuesday or Monday or Night Raw. He came at the end of the pay-per-view, and it was hype. The crowd was behind him. You just live for those moments with the live fans, man. I'm glad live fans are back.
Jacob, what do you think? Because I want to go last on this one.
Okay. Yeah, that was cool. John Cena coming out. It was cool. I kind of want to apologize though. I feel like I owe you an apology, Mark, because we got into our group chat that we have, and I may or may not have been a pissy bitch that night. Complaining about WWE, but you were all excited about John Cena, and I went, doesn't matter, Roman wins. Lol. Vince logic. And that was it. I didn't even message the rest of the night. So I'm kind of sorry I rained on your parade. I feel bad. I actually felt bad about that, but I want to publicly apologize to you, sir. My pissiness didn't piss in your Cheerios that much. I apologize.
Oh no, I was rewatching that Return on Luke till probably like 4 a.m. So
fair enough. Good.
But so yes. So when that music hit, I thought Edge's pop was crazy on Friday. I haven't heard a pop like that in a very long time. And I didn't even scream or anything. I literally was just there, mouth open, quiet. And shout out to Pat McAfee, because when Michael Cole says Cena's here, if you couldn't hear it because of the crowd going nuts, but McAfee threw in the where, that was gold. And he came out and he looked at Roman. He did the "you can't see me" and proceeded his business. And then after like Roman left, he talked to the fans, and I think it also shows how I know Jacob. Me and you have talked about this about a months ago when we talked about is there any real stars left in wrestling, and John Cena was like the last megastar. But when he came back, it wasn't just like the wrestling sites that we follow saying like going, holy shit, John Cena's back. It was everything. It was Sports Center, Bleacher Report, Entertainment News, freaking CNT. They do freaking tech, Complex Sports. Like every site went ape shit bananas when the dude came back. And then we're just like, holy shit. And it's kind of crazy too, because he said it himself, like, there was signs saying if Cena shows up, we cheer. If you've been watching wrestling for as long as we have, you remember when Cena wins, we riot signs. So it's like that was wild, man. And you really live for those moments because that shit carried as whatever you thought about Money in the Bank. That one moment made Money in the Bank freaking the most talked about thing on the internet and whatever for that Sunday going into Monday in all of the world because of one dude coming back.
I think they pulled the trigger at the right time. I think that was a perfect time to bring John Cena back. Because, like we said on the podcast, like if women go out, Becky Lynch is going to come back. And if you want a big pop, have Becky Lynch come back. Mm-hmm. There's like, we do want a big pop. Let's have John Cena come back. And like you said, that was the loudest pop I've heard in a while. It was fantastic.
I think in recent memory, it's the loudest one since Edge came back at the Rumble.
Yeah.
And it was wild shit, man. But no, I've watched that thing on loop because hearing the crowd and seeing Roman's face, like shout out to Roman because he looked so sick. He was like, are you fucking kidding me? Why are you here? Like he looked so sick. And when Cena just walked up to him, you can't see me, proceeded to go on. And that was the end shot of the night. And you had everyone just going wild, man. Even people haven't watched wrestling in a while. They're just like, holy shit, John Cena's back? Like, because they know him as the movie star now. Mm-hmm. And you just think about like, man, we'll talk a little bit more later, but it was wild, man. Like that made it so memorable, even though unintellectuals are trying to compare if that one was better than 08. And I was like, hold on now. Let's pump the brakes. 08, the dude was supposed to be gone for a year, and he showed up at the Rumble in 4 months. But that's crazy. And before we talk about the aftermath from that Friday, shout out to another big return of Finn Balor. He came back, so that was good as well. Monday Night Raw. I mean, Cena opened it up. He straight up said, "Man, Roman Reigns is an asshole," and he was talking. Before the Riddle stuff, he was talking like an internet wrestling fan. He said the Roman Reigns experience needs to stop. The Roman Reigns is overhyped. This has been going on for so many years. It's time to end. And threw the gauntlet down. Roman and Paul are probably going to respond on Friday, but we'll see from that. And then another thing too, we had another return. Keith Lee came back, which shit, I was super shocked because me and Jacob were starting to get our notes ready for a 3-hour podcast on how they ruined Keith Lee. And he came out of nowhere, lost to the champ, Bobby Lashley, but that was a loss to... We have another return. We had Goldberg come back, and he straight up challenged Lashley for the title, and Lashley's probably going to play hard to get, but we know that's going to happen, which I think that with that, I do think now Bobby can hold the title. I think it'll be Bobby versus Brock at WrestleMania now. I think that's where it'll go. And then this Raw was just so crazy too that if you weren't paying attention, we had the debut of Karrion Kross on Raw out of nowhere. Just found out that day, like looking at commercial breaks, and that did not go so well. And for that, we will pass it to Jacob.
Been waiting for this moment since Monday. It's now Thursday. I've been waiting for this moment. Let's crack one. Let's get into it. Karrion Kross shows up the Monday Night Raw. Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Sounds great. Actually, it sounds terrible if you're an NXT fan because you know what happens on main roster. We're going to get into this. So first off, what's wrong with the first part? The entrance. What are we missing? We're missing a massive fog show. We're missing. Oh, what? That other person. Oh, his wife. Oh, Scarlett. Oh, yeah. Her. Where the hell's Scarlett at? She's not there. It's one half of the Karrion Kross experience. She's not there. Why isn't she there? Nobody knows. Okay, fine. That's some dumb shit. We can work with it, though. Insert Jeff frickin' Hardy. Now, Jeff Hardy, when you think Jeff Hardy, you should think like massive legend, great wrestler, blah, 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 that's the Daredevil, high flyer, blah, 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 whatever. Mm-hmm. Which makes sense. They're going to have this match. But the problem is, Jeff Hardy has a record of 6-30. 6 wins, 30 losses. 6-30. Mm-hmm. So when you think Jeff Hardy, you think someone who's been on main event for the past, 6 months, losing 30 times. It's Jeff Hardy, 6-30. No.
Right.
Okay. They're going to have a match. Should be a squash match. Because mind you, Karrion Kross is your NXT champion. Karrion Kross proceeds to lose in 1 minute and 39 seconds to a goddamn fucking roll-up by Jeff Hardy, the guy who is 6-30 on the roster. Okay. Vince hates NXT. Vince hates me. There's no doubt there. I think this is a personal vendetta against me. He hates the Fiend. He hates Karrion Kross. Okay. Why does Karrion Kross lose? All right. What was the last? Do you guys remember the last pay-per-view NXT had? The last big, let me phrase this, the last big championship match for the NXT title.
Mm-hmm. When he took everybody out.
When he absolutely murdered the souls of 5 other men.
Yeah.
He did not murder them. He murdered their soul. He took everyone to town. I am here. I am Karrion Kross, and I will murder all of you, and I will not think twice about it because that is what I do. He loses to Jeff Hardy in 1 minute and 39 seconds to a guy who has a 6-30 record. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not happy about this. I was not happy. The text messages that were flowing were not great. Okay. So if you're going to have him lose, Jeff needs to be a heel then. If he's going to win by roll-up, he needs to be a chicken shit heel. But let's be honest, he's the NXT champion. It's your third brand. That's equal. I'm saying that in quotation marks for those who can't see this. They're equal. There's supposed to be 3 brands that are equal. This shit ain't equal. This makes no sense. You're burying Karrion Kross, therefore you're burying the other top 5 guys in NXT because of this bullshit. Okay. Boys, what the hell? I want your takes on it. I'm pissed.
Byron, go ahead.
I absolutely thought it was trash as well. You shouldn't have your champion lose to a fucking roll-up in 1 minute and 39 seconds. I know they say that NXT is equal with Raw and SmackDown, but clearly you see that they are not. that they're the third brand. It's evident with their NXT call-ups, how they bury all the great talent that NXT has. This was trash. I don't understand Vince at all. Like, I know he likes guys that look like Karrion Kross. So to have him lose in 1 minute and 39 seconds is fucking asinine, and I don't understand it.
You know, I try not to get too mad about it because, as we've said now, Vince logic. But I think that really got me perturbed is the fact that Karrion Kross literally has the title. Literally has the NXT title. You know what, people? And people are like, oh, what's the big deal? Let me tell you guys something. Long time ago, since I'm on my Cena thing, when Cena had to claim to potentially was probably the best wrestler on planet Earth in 2015, there was a young NXT champion who debuted. His name was Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens showed up on Raw, pop-up powerbomb John Cena, stepped on his belt, and left. And in their first match at Elimination Chamber, Kevin Owens beat John Cena clean. And we were like, holy shit. Holy shit. And they had their trilogy, and that was great. How the hell are you supposed to make me excited for when Karrion Kross gets called up if he can't beat Jeff freaking Hardy? No offense to Jeff Hardy. He's a legend, first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's not the same Jeff Hardy of like 2008. Mm-hmm. So that made no sense at all. And then to act like it really didn't happen on NXT, like what the hell that was terrible. Like it made no sense to debut him, no build up, not even a win. Like that was horrible in itself. And now just like you don't get a debut back. Well, it's just like, oh, that was the fake debut. His real debut is going to be on SmackDown, and he's going to decimate some local talent in Tulsa. Like, what are we doing here, man? But you know, you come to calm down when you just say Vince logic. You really do, because I was actually really pissed about it too for the reason I said. But when you say Vince logic, it just calms down. Calms down because there's no God-given explanation besides just saying Vince logic. That's it.
All right. Let me ask you guys this. So, if NXT was still on Wednesday nights and they were still having the Wednesday Night War with AEW,
mm-hmm.
Do you think Karrion Kross would have lost in 1 minute and 39 seconds to Jeff Hardy, who has a record of 6-30? In case I haven't mentioned that.
I don't think Karrion Kross debuts, let alone loses.
Yeah. I think they keep him on NXT to compete with AEW.
That was borderline shit. I'm actually getting more pissed now. Like,
here, let me piss you off even more real quick. So here's something else. There's so many factors of this that infuriate me. And this is another thing that infuriated me. Was, all right, 3 brands, all equal, allegedly. It's all bullshit. But anyways, wouldn't you want to pump up your other brands? Like, you had Karrion Kross lose to Jeff Hardy, and then you had it coming up like on the next commercial, like Karrion Kross going to be on NXT on Tuesdays, and you need to see what he's going to do to Samoa Joe. Like, why would I watch that? I just watched him lose in 1 minute and 39 seconds to a roll up to a guy who's 6-30. Why do I give a shit? Like, your brands are supposed to like boost your brand, right?
No.
Yep.
It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And then on top of that, I mean, this leaked today. They're doing tapings because they're going to be on Sci-Fi for a few weeks or whatnot.
The Olympics. Mm-hmm.
Well, they had to redo an entire promo of Karrion Kross's because the entire crowd was chanting Hardy. They had to reshoot it because Vince logic. How? Why? It makes no sense. I'm done talking about it. There's my rant for the episode.
No, it makes no sense at all, and there's nothing really to that. So Vince, I don't know what you're doing, but that was a terrible mistake. And there was other things too about that Raw. Charlotte saying when the crowd was chanting for Becky, and Charlotte saying she's too busy breastfeeding because she's a mom, and Becky said still at home breastfeeding, but still the most over woman in the division. She said that on Twitter, which was a great clap back. But with Charlotte though, I was kind of confused about that because it's like, only reason I was confused is like, girl, you missed WrestleMania because a doctor said you were false pregnant. Like, I would think you wouldn't do any like mom or like pregnant jokes because that was still like a little salty on you because you really missed WrestleMania because of a bad doctor saying you were pregnant. Like, that was terrible. But
I think the only reason she said that because night 2 at Raw, everyone was chanting for Becky Lynch to come out. So
yeah,
Charlotte being the heel had to address it. So that was the best thing she could come up with at the time. And Becky totally flipped that and made herself look more amazing than she already is. Because, I mean, I don't see any lies with it. Like 2 nights in a row, the crowd has overtaken with Becky chants. I mean, clearly, she's still the most over person in the women's division.
I thought she was going to come back on Monday too, and then again we have Rhea versus Charlotte main event of the night, and Charlotte still has the belt until we saw Nikki Cross running out there, and we're like, hold on, is she really about to cash in the day after? And Nikki Cross successfully cashed in and became the women's champion. I was shook because I'm like, oh my God, they pulled the trigger on Nikki Cross. Byron, what'd you think about that?
I was shocked as well because I didn't think they would pull the trigger that fast, especially with Nikki Cross. I thought they were like try out like different things to see how the crowd reacts to her since fans just came back. But it is hilarious that all the cash-ins have been on Charlotte.
But one
have been. It's just hilarious to me that Charlotte wins about. Oh, here comes the cash-in. So I mean, I was shook. I didn't think they would. Like I said, I didn't think that would happen as fast. I will say if the diving crossbody is her finisher, she needs to change that because nobody gets pinned from a crossbody. That was like the only thing I was like, she needs to change that. But otherwise than that, the moment was fine with me.
Jacob, what'd you think about the cash-in, man? Like, were you shocked it happened the day after? And how do you feel with Nikki Cross being champ?
Yeah, I was fine with it being the next day. Especially, in front of that hype crowd. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was good with it. The real question is it going to last?
No.
Because
I'll answer that right. No.
No.
No. It's definitely not going to last. Because
it'll be over by next month.
Yep.
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, it'll be over.
Or what could happen is this will end up being a triple threat.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, because Rhea and Charlotte and Nikki are going to get in on it. Nikki's going to end up. You could have it where Nikki wins, and then have it where Charlotte and Rhea are still mad at each other, and then they can keep wrestling and do an entire year of a run from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. Therefore, go for it.
What I think is going to happen, I think it's going to be the complete reversal. Now Nikki Cross is basically replacing Asuka in the sense that if Nikki wins, I do think it'll be a triple threat because Rhea's going to be like, you never would have won that thing if I didn't beat up Charlotte, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
If Nikki comes out champ, Charlotte will simply say, I never got my one-on-one opportunity. And then once she says that, we already know what it is. we know what it is after she says that because Rhea, sooner or later, I just hope she doesn't have a 2020 because 2019, she was so white hot. And then 2020, when she lost to Charlotte, it went to shit. Just straight trash. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. But that was, I definitely think she'll be champ at SummerSlam. I need them to officially announce the match before we'll make SummerSlam picks weeks in a couple weeks, but that'd be the only way she'd keep it, man. Because I don't know. I don't know. And then I think with Raw we hit everything, and NXT is just it's looking like Joe really might wrestle again against Karrion, but in theory, Joe should beat the dog shit out of him because Karrion Kross can't beat up Jeff Hardy. But
you would think, but Triple H still runs NXT as far as I know, so we'll probably have Karrion go over Samoa Joe.
That's true.
You need to take it. You need to get the. I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, you need to get the strap off of him, and he needs to go away for a few months. Just no social media, no NXT, no nothing. Because I'm sorry, the Jeff Hardy thing just killed any momentum. Like as good as I know, as good as I know Karrion Kross is, I can't look at him the same way and be like, oh yeah, Karrion Kross has definitely got this. Like you're hyping up Joe, who's going to be white hot when he wrestles. That's definitely coming. But like Karrion Kross doesn't have the same good heat behind him before this past Monday Night Raw.
It's crazy what one bad loss can do to you. But with that being said, guys, this week's been wild. We got reports that Daniel Bryan is going to be at AEW, which no one had that on the bingo board. And that was looking more confirmed for, was it September 22nd is the rumored date, and ticket prices, they're more than mortgages right now. Besides if you get like nosebleed seats that are like $25, but that one's wild. And the one that came out of nowhere was CM Punk, Phil Brooks.
Using real names?
going to AEW. When it first came out, we were just like, whatever. We won't talk about it. We won't report on it because we try and give you guys confirmed stuff. But then today, right before we were recording, Ringside News was saying it was a done deal. And Ringside News has been pretty accurate. So we were like, let's talk about it. Jacob, I was telling the others how I find it real funny that AEW is getting now Daniel Bryan and CM Punk on the wake of John Cena coming back. And WWE John Cena is supposed to be at every SmackDown, Raw, live event until SummerSlam, which I can almost make the case that John Cena is still the biggest name in wrestling right now. And Jacob, I want to ask you this with Daniel and Punk. One, if these are both true, are you happy about it? And B, can they afford these guys? And C, what do you think they'll be doing?
All right. So am I happy? 100%. Let's freaking go. 2, can they afford it? Abso-freaking-lutely. It's the Khan family. They got more money than Vince. They don't give a shit. They got money. They got more money than anybody. It's the Khans. What was the third thing again? Oh, what are they going to do? I don't know, because you got a lot of options. If, and this is big ifs, Daniel and Punk show up, are they going to wrestle each other? Because that's money. Punk wrestling anybody is money right now. And then on top of that, my wife actually made a good point earlier. Shout out to Hannah. If Punk is now in play, let's just say he is. Let's say theoretically, for sure, the deal is 100% done. If Punk is in play, that means if Punk gets treated well, that means AJ Lee might be in play. Therefore, your AEW's women division now just got a lot hotter. We don't need Tessa. There you go. There's the mention. You can get AJ Lee. So, man, I don't know. If it is if it's real, you know what I'm doing? If I'm Tony Khan, I'm saying screw it. I'm taking my battleships. I'm going the Mondays. I'm going after Raw. Because if you got CM Punk and Daniel Bryan on the same show, yeah, they'll take on Cena. I think they can take Cena too. And on top of that, I think it forces Vince's hand because then Vince, you're going to see the brands dissolve. They're just going to be the Raw super shows like they used to be back in the day in like 2013. Because Vince is not going to want to lose to AEW if there's a war. And therefore, he's going to pull Roman to do double duty on Raw and SmackDown. But Fox isn't going to want that. And it's going to be a giant pain in the ass for Vince. Meanwhile, Tony Khan just going to sit there and make his money, and it's going to be insane. That's what I would do.
A couple things with the Cena thing and the DB and Punk. Right now, the dates are Cena is going to be done at SummerSlam. So, I mean, we know if that's going to be, he'll do his duty. And Daniel's supposed to be back in September. So this is already when Cena's gone. So you've already lost all of that. So you won't even be going against Cena. You'll be going against, no disrespect, I do like Bobby Lashley a lot. But, I mean, Daniel Bryan's a bigger star than Bobby Lashley. And CM Punk, I think, I don't know what else is going to happen this year, but when the cult of personality goes off for the first time in wrestling, not when it was going off when he was getting his ass whooped at UFC, that pop is going to be crazy. And you need to have it. You can't have it on a regular Wednesday. It has to be at All or Nothing, double, whatever the hell pay-per-view they're having. So it's going to be wild if it's true because Punk hasn't wrestled with his face. We know he's done like the mask stuff here and there, but like face, GTS, Anaconda Vice in person since the Royal Rumble 2014, which that one was, and his last Raw was in Cleveland, which is crazy enough, but it'll be wild if it's true. Byron, what do you think about these things? I got a couple more things, but I want to hear what you have to say on this.
I am excited because I love Daniel Bryan. I love CM Punk. So that any chance they get to pursue their passion is A-okay with me. I just wish that WWE could have maybe re-signed Daniel Bryan or got Punk. But, you know, WWE likes to drop the ball with their contracts. Malachi Black. So I think it's great that they'll be wrestling. Once again, I am excited to see like Daniel Bryan versus Kenny Omega or CM Punk versus Kenny Omega. I think those will be fantastic matches with a belt collector. Like Jacob said, the cons have money. That's actually what I said in our group chat earlier, that they own the Jag, so they can pretty much buy whoever they wanted to buy. So if they can want to get AJ Lee, go for it. Get AJ Lee, make the women's division much better than what it is now. And for what they're going to do, hopefully wrestle some great matches. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what the future of AEW is.
So, yeah. So, Jacob, actually in our group messages before, the different ones like mentioned them. I said, I'm not signing Punk unless I'm guaranteed that I'm getting AJ. Because as great as Punk is an asshole. And he can be very hard to work with sometimes. So, I mean, the thing's going to be great, but I'm like, I'm getting AJ in this deal. Like, that's what I'm telling the Punk family. I think my biggest thing with these signings, when I talked about the money, it's just like, and me and Jacob have been talking about this for a year. You have all this money, but it's going to all these people who just came from like WWE or whatnot. Why the hell are we not getting top tier women? That's my biggest thing. Like, we have all this money. Mickie James should have been on AEW. I don't care. The Iconics better be on AEW or I'm going to get pissed. And we're going to mention her again because we still do not know. Tessa Blanchard should have been the first person AEW called as soon as she got off her deal. So it's just like seeing that and seeing, like, no disrespect to Dr. Britt Baker, but their women's division is nowhere near WWE's women's division. And I guess with Punk and Bryan, I mean, now you got Kenny, you got potentially Punk, potentially Bryan. None of this hasn't happened yet. And when it does, if it does, we'll definitely talk about it. And then you have all these dudes at the top. I'm just interested to see how the others will be because they're going to instantly be top stars. So that means people are getting pushed down a peg, and some people are like, man, I came to AEW because I wanted to be higher up. And I'm right back to WWE, where in 2012 to 13, Punk and Bryan were the champions. So it's like that type of dynamic. I want to see how AEW deals with that, because I mean, they're better than, well, I can't say they're better than WCW right now because it hasn't been unfolded, but WCW is doing the same stuff. People leave WWE, sign them right to AEW, to WCW, and then we saw how that went. But I think the cons are a little bit smarter than that. But we'll see, man. We'll see.
I mean, you also have to take into effect that the forbidden door is open.
Mm-hmm.
You got AEW doing deals with Impact, who's doing deals with New Japan, who's doing deals with Ring of Honor, who's doing deals with AEW. You know, the circle is just getting bigger, and that throw NWA in there. You got so many options, and that is the one rumored thing is that Daniel wanted limited dates, and he wanted to be able to work basically any promotion he wanted. So he can be on New Japan 1 week. I mean, they got their USA stuff going on, or he can be over, actually in Tokyo. I mean, literally throw Daniel Bryan versus anybody in New Japan. It's just going to be insane. So, I mean, like, not necessarily like all these people are going to get signed by AEW, but they'll be on AEW per se.
Because we still have Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman needs to get signed when his time's up. And
well, let's talk about Braun Strowman. We forgot to talk about this. Monday night, Braun Strowman gets new merch on WWE Shop.
Really?
Yeah, I sent that to the group chat.
Well, it was it during Cena stuff? Because I probably skipped it.
See, you just ignore me. I don't get invited to watch pay-per-views at Martin's house.
Technically, whoa. First of all, I don't know if you want to make that drive. If you did, you could come.
I definitely don't want to make that drive. Absolutely not. I just like giving the shit. But
you could come to SummerSlam. SummerSlam is a Saturday.
That's true.
Could. We'll see. I might be busy that night. I'm not
watching SummerSlam.
I might be in my double wide mansion. Okay,
double wide mansion.
But no, I did not see that Braun Strowman had it.
Okay, yeah, I'll send it to you if you guys like Google it. He's got like "Monsters Are Real" is like the new slogan.
You think he's coming back then?
Oh hell yeah, 100%. I think it was a screw up on WWE's part. Vince realized that, oh shit, I probably should have. Oh, let's re-sign him. Whatever. And Braun likes working for Vince, so whatever. That's happening.
Very
Don't be shocked if he shows up on Friday.
Huh? I mean, I could see that. You don't get new merch unless you're a legend or you're returning.
Wait and see on that. I don't know, man. These IT kids not WWE, Peacock were messing up. Maybe a Peacock person got a hold of that and made a mess up. Just saying. But no, Daniel and Punk, if it's true, it's going to be wild. And we're going to have a time frame where we have Cena, who's back for a little bit. And then we're going to have Punk. And then we're going to have Daniel Bryan. But then I don't know if you guys saw this too. Maybe this is their retort that Survivor Series, Dwayne's supposed to be there.
I saw that.
So if this is the type of back and forth that we're getting, I'm going to like it. But then I go back to our thing that we're getting these legends back. But Jacob, I want to ask you this. Who is AEW built to be a star who wasn't already known? That's where I'm holding up on this right now.
All right, so we'll just keep out Kenny Omega. Hangman Adam Page is the best storyline right now in wrestling. They have absolutely built that storyline from the first episode, from the first pay-per-view. They have built Adam Page in a very slow but amazing storyline. And with all the things that have happened in AEW, him and Dark Order right now, they're the most friendliest cult I've ever wanted to join in my life.
I haven't watched it are they still doing Brody Lee tributes? There's no disrespect, but they got to stop that.
I mean, they haven't really done like tributes. I mean, like they do the Dark Order, like
yeah, because there was a time where
they still have his son show up, which I think is great. I think it shows that you have a wrestling company that cares, because anytime you look at WWE, you look at this corporate bullshit. Freaking, we don't give a shit about you. You're just a number, and we'll cut you at any time or have you lose to Jeff Hardy, who's 6-30, by the way. At any given moment, no one cares about these people, but you still have the Khan family and Cody and the Bucks flying down Brody's family because their son wants to watch and be part of AEW, which is like their legacy. His like -1. He wants to be a wrestler. That's why he said, like, I'm going to be a wrestler. There's no way I could not be a wrestler at this point. And that's what he ends up wanting to do when he comes 18.
His
and
mom,
Cody and the Khans are paying for it all. Like, as long as you got good grades, you're in it, bud.
I was gonna say his mom is super cool, because my mom would not be having me go across the state on a school night.
Right. I would also say, outside of Adam Page, I think they're building MJF up to pretty well as well.
Yeah.
I did see a debate. Better promos, MJF or The Miz?
MJF. Not even a competition right now.
I would say MJF, because you can tell that he does not give a shit with his promos.
You take that over Prime Miz, like Talking Smack Miz?
Yeah.
Talking Smack Miz was different.
I'm just asking because I saw that debate, and it was funny because MJF tried to say something to the site who did it, and they clapped back at MJF, and MJF blocked him. I was like, that's a little soft for someone being the top promo out of those two.
He blocks everyone.
That's kind of soft.
That's his thing. He doesn't like you, he'll just block you.
I mean, ask
it JBL. I'm still blocked.
But I guess with your guys' thing on that, because with wrestling, it's really not about like if the hardcore people like us know. Like, Jacob, do you think if you text Mitch right now and said, hey, do you know who Hangman Page is? Do you think he know who he is?
I don't know yet. I don't maybe probably not.
I don't think so, because I don't think he pays attention.
But Mitch knows who Roman Reigns is.
That's because Roman Reigns is with WWE.
Absolutely.
But he knows who he is, and he hasn't watched it in forever, and he can.
Well, also, we send it in the group chat. Like, anything WWE related, we send it in the group chat. Like, we have our stuff, like, where we send, like, stuff outside of AEW. Like,
but that's the point. So how do we get those people to care about that stuff? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Well, you get CM Punk and Daniel Bryan.
Mitch will watch AEW if CM. You're right. Mitch will watch AEW if CM Punk is actually on a consistent basis.
Yeah. So that's how you bring in the casual fans, like, who don't know independent wrestlers, who have only paid attention to WWE. That's how you bring them in. You bring in past WWE superstars that they've cared about. Which, I mean, no fault to like the up and coming wrestlers that, are trying to make their name in AEW. But if you want casual fans, then you unfortunately do have to bring in those WWE names.
Exactly. I mean, if you would take like the past UFC pay-per-view that happened with Conor McGregor.
Oh, geez.
Every casual is going to watch that.
Yep.
You know what they did on there? They threw in future, stars. People are going to pay attention. Sean O'Malley.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows who Sean O'Malley is.
Mm-hmm.
You throw in Tai Tuivasa, who sent Hardy, whatever the hell his name is, to the Shadow Realm.
Greg Hardy.
Yeah, screw Greg Hardy. But when he sent Greg Hardy to the Shadow Realm, everybody loved it. I mean, you gotta slowly build. I mean, that's just the way it is.
No, I agree. That's how you do it, but we'll see. I mean, with all these people coming back, Jacob, who's the biggest star in wrestling?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
John Cena.
John Cena.
Take John Cena. Take him out of it.
Take him out of it? Outside of John Cena?
Mm-hmm.
Probably Kenny Omega, the belt collector.
Jacob?
Are you saying the top, like the best or the most popular? Because that's two different things.
That is true, because
Because that's what I thought you meant was like popularity right now. Like,
I guess my default answer for best, like in ring, I'll always say AJ Styles as long as he's alive. But I guess you're thinking about the biggest. So like when you say like who's the biggest star in wrestling, like Stone Cold, like you're talking about popularity and all that stuff, and like who's tuning into the TV and who can actually work. You're doing all that combination. So
unfortunately,
I do like Kenny's a good pick. I mean,
I don't think it's Kenny. If you're talking like star wise, popularity wise, wrestling wise, Kenny's the best.
Mm-hmm.
And if we want to get really technical, we're going to throw Jonathan Gresham in there from Ring of Honor. Technically, that man cannot be touched right now. Please get Daniel Bryan versus Gresham. If you're listening, Daniel Bryan, to the podcast, that'd be great. But if you had to pick one person right now, you either have to go Roman or you have to go Charlotte.
How do you one better from the cheers? How about I think it's Becky Lynch.
Becky, yeah.
I think she has a claim to it. Because when she comes back, that pop is going to be. We might see like the top 10 biggest pops of the 2010s all in a row. From Cena to Becky to Daniel Bryan to CM Punk, we might see the top 4 pops of the decade.
Well, are we forgetting to mention Dwayne then? If we're talking people who are not wrestling right now but are most likely going to be wrestling, you have to throw Dwayne into that conversation. You have to throw The Rock.
If you smell The Rock is cooking, when that music goes off, it's
going to be bigger than Becky.
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, well, yeah, because it's The Rock. Like
the only only thing that will come close to Dwayne is Punk. That's the only closest thing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's good stuff.
Depending on how big they're going to be, like where they're going to be at, that's going to be who's going to have the louder pop. Who's going to be at the bigger arena.
Yeah,
it's a wild time. I mean, Finn Balor started it off coming back Friday. I'm gonna say it right now. Finn Balor needs to. I don't want to say this early, but he needs to be a top 4 contender for the Royal Rumble. Jacob, I know in our household, we think Finn will actually be the one to beat Roman Reigns next year at like Money in the Bank or SummerSlam after he's done with his programs with Cena and Rock, because that would make Finn a megastar.
Yeah, that would make sense. But if you're going to do it like that, then you have to do it like how I theoretically wanted the Karrion Kross deal to go down. Roman's got to whip your ass, and then you got to go, well, you beat me, but you didn't beat the demon. Insert massive pop, and there you go.
And then that's it. And then he'll be a star.
Yeah. If you're not going to do it with Cesaro right now. Yeah.
Of course, Cesaro, man.
Fuck, man.
If you're not going to do it with Cesaro, then you have to do it with Finn. Who else could you build right now that's on a plateau, like an uphill like plateau? You're like, who else would beat Roman right now? Yes.
If you want to push somebody, Big E.
Dude, are we even going to be sure he's going to have a successful cash in?
We're just talking hypotheticals right now. So
he's got to cash in on Lashley. Then he has to.
I think that'd be. Then you have New Day all back on the show, and we'll have to see.
Exactly.
But no, with the Roman thing, let's hold that for hope we say this every time, but we will have a episode before we preview SummerSlam, so hopefully it's slower, so we could do like, because I am interested to hear who you guys' top 10 men are in WWE.
Oh, damn.
Because we're talking about Roman and going forward full time, but who's your top 10? But
Vince would have to be number 1.
Vince.
But no, that's funny. But that's it, man. We hit on a lot of stuff. Money in the Bank was eventful. We're now in an age where Cena, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk may all be wrestling in the same span, and then Dwayne too. Like, we're literally back in 2013, which is wild. And we'll have our wrestling episode 2 weeks from now, and then 2 weeks after that will be the SummerSlam preview, and Byron will be back for that. And it's going to be a wild time once we have all these matches confirmed. Jacob, anything else before we close?
Shout out to the wrestling gods for not screwing us over with news and information, because it's always the day after. And I think the biggest thing we'll have tomorrow is maybe a Braun Strowman showing up and Roman Cena debacle, but other than that, I don't think we're gonna see too much else happen. So
you say that, and then tomorrow CM Punk's official Twitter will be like, "It's true."
Yeah.
Then we might have.
We already talked about it, and I'm assuming it is because I'm being a mark completely, and just I have hopes. Gotcha. I guess.
Byron, any last things before we sign off?
I'm happy, with all the return, especially Keith Lee. I know we touched on it a little bit, but I really hope that they push Keith Lee because he is so over with the fans. You can tell when he came back on Monday that everyone just loves Keith Lee. So hopefully they push him. Hopefully they push Finn. Trying to think of anything else. Tony Storm debuts tomorrow, so we'll see if they just call her Storm from now on.
Oh yeah, tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Look, great episode, but I'm just gonna. I would play his music, but we are a mom and pop podcast, and I'm not trying to get copyright infringed. But John Cena is back. The world is whole again. He's going to light Roman Reigns' ass up on the mic. That is why he has Paul Heyman, and Paul's going to get his ass lit up too. Uso's DUI stuff is going to get lit up. Naomi, I hope you are not part of the light up phase, because no pun intended. You are going to get lit up too. The whole family might get lit up. I mean, Roman better be on top of his game. I mean, we know that Roman's probably he's gonna win at SummerSlam, but the promos are gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. Jacob, I don't know if you saw too that SummerSlam is gonna be showed in theaters. They are going all freaking out for this.
Damn, a pay-per-view in theaters? They haven't done that in since old WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're going all out.
If it's up, then it's up. If it's up, then it's up. What's up?
Also, we forgot to mention, TakeOver is the day after.
That is true. That is very interesting because it's usually the day before. It's almost what we liked, having a TakeOver right before. Right at the big pay-per-view. So that would be interesting to see. We got I think Walter is going to actually lose that belt then, because that was the first match that they announced on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we gotta wait to see, because we'll be previewing that as well, and we'll see if Joe's time has come and Karrion Kross's time is up. And with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. This is a great time to be a wrestling fan. This is what wrestling is at its best, when it is getting all of this mainstream attention. The big boys are here, and girls. Shout out to Becky. I know she's coming soon. But get ready, because we are here. And with that being said, thank you everyone for listening. You guys take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.